She may be the face I can't forget, a trace of pleasure or regret, maybe my treasure or the price I have to pay. She may be the song that summer sings, maybe the chill that autumn brings, maybe 100 different things within a measure of the day. She may be the beauty or the beast, maybe the famine or the feast, may turn each day into one heaven or a hell. She may be the mirror of my dream, a smile reflected in a stream. She may not be what she may seem inside her shell. Yes! Hello everyone! Warm greetings! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from right now, and welcome to JhermiNATION PV, our hub for health, arts, and business. And I'm your host for tonight, Jeremy, here in London. And I take it that you're all doing well and keeping safe wherever you are right now. And please, write on the comment box where you're watching from. Any questions later on, any comments, any violent reactions, hopefully none. And of course, some thumbs up and hearts will be very much appreciated. So don't be shy, give it a try. Hit those buttons now. And before we proceed, I would like to invite everyone for a minute of silence. Let us all remember all those who died of COVID-19, those who are fighting for their lives, those who are infected of COVID-19, those who lost their job during this pandemic lockdown. Let us pause for a minute of silence, remember them and pray for them. I am, we are, the keeper of light, so others will see it. So, let's all welcome who are watching right now. Morales Turbanos Arvin from Kuwait. Yes, we got somebody from Middle East. My friend, very good friend. Nice shades. Thank you, Arvin. And Ambi the Diba, Ronald Celebrados, one of our frontliners. Thank you for watching. Mark Barton. Thank you for watching. Dominic Peñaflor Serona. Thank you for watching. I have a very special guest today. I've known her since 99 actually. For a long time now actually. For a long time. 20 years, I think. Yes, so I came here back in 99 of August. She came here around September of 99. We actually live in the same floor in the staff accommodation. She is very friendly, always smiling, jolly person. She's a loving husband and mother of 2 teenagers. He works at the National Hospital for Neurosurgery, Neurology and Neurosurgery, Queen Square. By the way, Queen Square is internationally known for its specialty and neurology. So that's where we work. I used to work there before with her, and she still works there at the moment. And she is the lead nurse in the headache specialty of the National Hospital. And she pioneered, she started a nurse-led nerve block and Botox service in the department. And because of that, she got an award back in 2016. She got the Top Choice or Excellence Award because she pioneered that nurse-led Botox and nerve block, which we will find out later on from her. Because of that, she won an award, and she gained her master's degree in Copenhagen back in 2018, 2 years ago. And she's an international speaker. She's also a member of NICE, N-I-C-E. So it's a National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, wherein she writes guidelines for the whole of UK. Yes. And she's an advanced nurse practitioner for headache disorders and neuromodulation. And she is at the moment doing. Are you ready for our guest for tonight? So anybody who's got problems with headache, tag them right now. Are you ready for my guest, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen, advanced nurse practitioner in headache disorders and neuromodulation. Yes, let's all welcome Susie Lagrata. Welcome, Susie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, Jeremy. Wow, that was a good
Yes, yes.
introduction.
I've done my research well. How are you? Well,
Yeah, you
Susie,
did.
greet our teleview, our Perry viewers, I would say, here in JhermiNATION, and greet
Yeah,
your family and friends in the Philippines, because obviously they can watch this one.
of course. Hello. Thank you, Jeremy, of course, for inviting me. Hello, everybody. And hello to my husband who's cooking and watching me right now.
Anton?
Hello to my, yes, to my nanay and my ate who will watch it tomorrow morning. Hello, everybody.
Wow. Susie, thank you for accepting my invite. I know you're very busy and you've just come from work as well. So thank
I
you very
did.
much. And of course, for all those who are watching right now, if you have any, if you know anybody, if you have a friend who's suffering from headache disorder or migraine, please share this one and tag them.
Yeah,
And you will have an
yeah.
opportunity to probably entertain some little bit of Q&A later on. I don't know. It depends on the time. It depends on how busy Susie is. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I would love to do that. That's the reason why I'm here to empower and to give advice about migraines.
yes, yes, that's your specialty. Actually, Susie is the one and only advanced nurse practitioner orders and neuromodulation, which we will find out later on what neuromodulation is all about. So she is one of a kind. She's the only one in UK right now. So we are privileged to
Mm,
have her for tonight. So Susie, before we get cracking, I always do this to my guests. I call this the quick fire questions. The first thing that will come in your mind, this is just to know you a little bit more and warm you up, and of course, have fun. Are you ready for this? Yeah? Okay, good, good.
oh,
Okay, tea
yeah.
or coffee?
Okay, I'll try.
Tea or coffee? Coffee.
Coffee.
Sleep or eat?
Coffee.
Eat.
Eat.
Brad Pitt or Keanu Reeves? Oh, well
Anton.
done. I love that. I love that. Night out or staying in? Night out or staying in?
I'll stay in.
Weird or crazy?
Stay in. Stay in.
Weird or crazy? Weird or crazy?
It's you or me who has signal problem.
I'm not sure. Is that okay? Now, is that better now? Can you hear me? Yep. So, weird or
Yeah,
crazy?
better.
Weird or
Yeah.
crazy? Did you hear me?
I'm crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Are you a
crazy.
crazy? Are you a mama's boy or a papa? Oh, sorry. Are you a mama's girl or a papa's girl?
100% mama's
Mama's
girl.
girl. Money or fame?
Oh, happiness.
Money or fame?
Maybe
Money.
money. Maybe money.
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 Yeah, that's good. That's good. Dream or career?
You know what? I'm so lucky I have both.
Great, 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 great.
because my career is my
Great,
dream.
great answer.
Mm.
Here's a good one. Shower or bath? Anton, are you listening?
Oh,
Shower. Okay.
shower. Shower
Wait.
with tabo and
Wow.
timba.
Anton, here's another one. One-piece swimsuit or two-piece swimsuit?
Oh my God. I don't do that. But anyway, yeah, okay, one
One
piece
piece.
then swimsuit.
What is your guilty pleasure? What is your guilty pleasure?
Watching trash TV
All
series.
right. What is the last thing that you Googled?
Oh, I googled something about
Headache.
headache.
Okay, okay. So apart from your face, which body part you look most in the mirror?
Oh, my big
Oh, okay.
stomach.
Same with me, you know. I that's the
Yeah,
I
I'm
look at my
obsessed.
stomach as well, apart from my face. What is the lie that you recently
I
told?
know.
What
I
is the
know.
lie that you recently told?
I don't lie.
Okay.
There you go. That's the answer.
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay. Susie, that's good, that's good, that's good. Susie, what would you tell what would you tell your 12-year-old self? If you're in front of your 12-year-old self, what would you tell her or yourself?
Oh, Kuya Kuya Boy, ikaw ba 'yan?
Not quite yet.
Kuya, oh, okay. Well, you said you want this to be fun,
Yeah.
but I'll try, and I may get
Oh, is it? Oh
emotional.
my God.
Get the violin background playing then. Well, Jeremy, actually, and I'm quite upfront about this. I came from a very humble, poor
Mm-hmm.
background, and I'm really
Mm-hmm.
proud of it. And we live in this Western world, comfortable life, and we witness poverty. For example, on the phone, on the telly, we see poverty. But unless you live
Mm-hmm.
poverty, I don't think you'd understand how it is to be poor. And we were very, very poor. So growing up, it was very difficult. So what I would tell my 12-year-old self is that things are difficult right
Mm-hmm.
now. Sometimes it feels hopeless. Sometimes you go to sleep hungry, but things will improve, things will get better. In the future, you'll be able to improve your life. Your children will not go hungry, and you'll be able to improve your family's life. I think that's
Well
what I'll
done.
say
I love it.
to
I love
myself.
it, Susie. I love it. I love it. Okay.
Mm.
So Susie, why headache as a specialty? What attracted you to it? You could specialize other things, but why headache? What has attracted you to it?
Mm. Well, before I start, just a very short
Mm-hmm.
disclaimer, and that I am here on my own personal
Yeah.
capacity and not a representative of the institution I work with. I just want to
Yep.
put it
Yep.
out there. So you've already mentioned that we came together. In fact, since I came to the UK 21
Mm-hmm.
years ago, I've been working in Queen Square. And when I first, actually, Jeremy, when we
Yep.
first came, I was in Nuffield Wood, and the very first patient I looked after actually was admitted for
Oh,
migraine. And it was mind-boggling for me. It was mind-boggling because in the Philippines, we don't admit people with headache.
exactly.
And I thought, this country is amazing that the things that we think are trivial in the Philippines are taken seriously here, and it truly is a serious disease. And I think my interest built upon
Mhm.
that. And 10 years into my career, I stumbled upon a post, and I applied for it. And in fact, when I applied for it, just a little bit of backstory
Mhm.
about it, I was told to apply, but they already have a person seconding the post. So there's already somebody
Yep.
doing it, but they wanted me to apply because there's another post coming up. So they told me you won't get the job. You know what, Jeremy? I'm so lucky. God is good. I got the job.
That's Pinoy power. That's Pinoy power. That's interesting to know,
Yes, yeah.
Susie.
Don't give up. Yeah,
See, we've known
exactly.
each other for like 20 years, but I never got that, it's only now that I knew that, the first
Mm,
patient that you had in National, where we started together, was a migraine patient,
yeah.
and it just built upon that. You just
Mhm.
never know what's
Yeah.
around the corner. So Yeah, that's very
Exactly.
interesting
So
story. Yeah.
yeah, so I think the lesson is don't close doors.
Exactly, exactly. So, Susie, this is your specialty.
Mm,
So, in a larger scale, because you are an international speaker as well about headaches, yeah. On a larger
mhm.
scale, what is the incidence of headaches or migraines? How disabling or how debilitating it is to have a headache? Because
Mm.
I myself, I have witnessed a headache patient, as you said. Headache is just like
Yep.
it's like
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
general sign and symptom of something. It could be
Yeah.
anything, but it's just a general one. We just
Yeah.
don't pay attention to it, but it could be something
Yeah.
serious. So, in a larger scale, how many are
Yeah.
the sufferers of headaches and migraines, and how is it affecting
Mhm.
individual?
Yeah. So actually, migraine is the most common neurological disorder. Migraine is not just a headache. So if there's anybody watching and they've been diagnosed with migraine and they've been stigmatized by the condition and they feel that their employer, family member, or friends don't understand the condition, you have all the right to feel disabled by it because it is highly
Mm.
disabling. It occurs on 20% of the
Wow.
population. So it is even more common than asthma, more common than diabetes, and yet the resources and understanding about migraine is extremely limited compared to this condition. It is highly disabling in that it just doesn't cause direct disability to patients. It also creates indirect disability, and what I mean by that is what we call presenteeism. And I'm sure if you're a sufferer, you would relate. You go to work because you're obliged to go to work, but your productivity is
Yeah.
50% because people with migraine during a severe migraine attack cognitively gets affected. So for those who are non-medical, cognitive means kapag may headache ka, when you have migraine attack, ang paggana ng utak mo is only
Okay.
50%.
Wow.
So if you're, for example, if you're sitting an exam during a migraine attack, you'll most likely gonna get only 50% of your full potential. And in fact, one of my advocates actually for those students suffering from it, I actually give them support letter, for example, so that they can use it as a mitigating factor para pag ginradan sila, it's fair for them.
Wow, that's interesting to know. As what I've said, we just
Mm,
take it for granted. Oh, it's only a headache, but
yeah,
it's really disabling. It's really disabling. So I've heard about these
yeah,
classifications like headache, migraine, clusters. Can you
mm,
just give
yeah.
us an idea of the
Mhm.
common ones? Why is it called cluster? The
Okay,
migraines or simple headache.
yeah. Okay, so there's no such thing as simple headache, and in fact, headache is just one symptom of
Okay.
migraine. Yeah, headache is only a so for example, if you have diabetes, you have a symptom of maybe a kidney
Mhm.
problem. So that's just part
Mhm.
and parcel. So headache is not migraine. When you have migraine, you get headache, you get vomiting, para ka nasusuka, light is actually painful in your
Mhm.
eye, listening to my voice would be painful. So can you imagine if you suffer from it and you have to go to work, for
Mhm.
example? Um, so the most common type of headache, in fact, is called tension type
Mhm.
headache. 80% of population will get it. It's those headache that you get, that is just there. You don't get any vomiting or any symptom of nausea or queasiness. But migraine is another form of beast. It's a proper neurological problem. The pain is generated in the brain. So you have a brain problem. The other more rarer headache is called cluster headache. In fact, it's also called the most painful condition known to
Wow.
mankind. So basically, World Health Organization did a survey and what they found out is women, so may mga babae na may cluster
Mm.
headache. And they actually said that childbirth is nothing. The pain of childbirth is nothing compared to cluster
Wow.
headache. It's also called a suicide headache because majority of patients opt to actually just end it all rather than to put up with the excruciating nature of pain. But that's very
Mhm.
rare. But I think I'd rather concentrate, if anything at all, about migraine because I know I'm a
Mhm.
migrainer, and amongst those who are watching right now, for sure, if they're not a sufferer, they would have actually have come across somebody or related to somebody who will have migraine. And there are actually quite simple things that they can do and they can follow to control the condition that can help improve not just the condition but their quality of life and their productivity.
All right, yeah. So what causes this one? What are the predisposing factors of having a migraine? Do we know the cause of this one?
So yeah, so one thing's for sure, nobody really know exactly, but one thing is definitive. If you have migraine, you can blame your parents. It's
Okay.
genetic.
Is it genetic?
You know, people with migraine,
Wow.
yeah, people with migraine have genetic
Oh.
predisposition. So there are now 5 genes that are identified to cause migraine. So for example, I have migraine. I blame my mother. She has
Oh,
migraine.
I see. Okay.
The other thing as well is they think, unlike maybe 20 years ago, where they think when you have migraine, you have inflammation of vessels, that has been now completely excluded as a theory. It is a brain problem with, nerve, with input from nerve as well. So basically, there's this, what we call a CGRP. So to analogize it into layman's term, CGRP are like little peptides or like neurotransmitters. What I mean by that is,
Chemicals.
let's
Yeah.
say you want to go to no, you want to go to London, right? How do you get to London? You take the bus. So the people are the pain signal and the bus is the
Oh.
CGRP. It actually carries the pain signal to the brain. And what they did is actually they did a study, and we were part of that study. They did a blood test for those getting migraine attack. They measured the CGRP, it's elevated. And then they did the blood test in between attack, the CGRP were completely normal.
Wow. Interesting.
And what it showed actually is that people with migraine have elevated CGRP, and that's why actually now, and this is hot off the press, there's a very new
Oh.
drug which just came about 2 months ago called CGRP antibody. It's actually free in the NHS. It's just been
Wow.
approved, and it proves to work on 70% of patients.
Wow. So there's hope for migraine sufferers. I can, I have friends who
Yes,
has migraines,
absolutely.
and I can only imagine, when they tell you, I really got bad
Mm,
headache, and they just do like that, and it's
mm,
lucky if they just do
yeah,
like that, because I've witnessed a patient who's having a migraine attack. He's just pacing around the bed space. So yeah, so it's just
yeah.
like they wanted to
Mm,
bang their head just to get rid of the pain. Wow,
mm,
wow.
mm.
So what's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
mechanism
yeah.
inside the brain? What really happens? Is it more of the blood vessels, or what gives the
No, so
headache?
it
What gives
rather
the
than
pain?
so what gives it's like what they call um, neurogenic inflammatory
Okay.
response. So when that entity called CGRP gets transmitted to the brain, it creates inflammation with on the walls of the
Okay.
vein.
So it's more of inflammation.
And when that happens,
Okay.
and when that happens, it actually then sends signals at the extracranial or outside your
Mm-hmm.
head, and that's where you get the pain. So most people with migraine will actually say that when they have an attack, they feel the pain behind their eye. It's like somebody's
Mm-hmm.
pushing
Mm-hmm.
it. Is it either imploding or from the back out or from the out inside? And often people think they have problem in their
Yeah.
eyes, but what happened is actually it's what we call as referred pain. So for example, if you're having a heart attack, you don't get pain
Mm.
in your chest. It's heavy, but the pain is
Yeah.
in your jaw or your arm. It's the reference of the pain rather than the origination of the
Wow.
pain.
Wow. Amazing. And what can they at home? So for those migraine sufferers,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
obviously
Hmm.
there. What helpful tips can you give them at home, before
Yeah.
going to the doctor,
Okay.
I understand there are lines of
Yes.
treatment,
Yeah.
first line first, and then if it doesn't work,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
go.
Mm,
So what
mm,
can somebody do suffering from
mm.
migraine at home?
Actually, if there are many things that you could do at home that could improve your condition. So first of all is understanding of the
Mhm.
condition. Like what I've said earlier, the headache is just one part of migraine. It's important for the sufferer to understand that migraine consists of 5
Mhm.
stages. Yeah. So there is what we call the first stage is what we call premonitory sign. The second stage is aura. Some people get
Oh,
flashing
I
lights
see.
or
Yeah,
black spots
yeah.
in their vision. Yeah, the third stage is the
Hmm.
headache. The fourth stage is a feeling of either euphoria or depression. and then the recovery phase, which is the fifth stage. Understanding these stages is very important, because if you know that you're in the premonitory stage, if you take the painkiller, then the process will not get into the headache phase.
Okay.
Yeah, so what are the premonitory phase? What are the premonitory phase? So some people say, when I eat chocolate, I get a headache, so it's a trigger. Or, if I actually eat cheese, I have a migraine the day after, it's a trigger. Actually, that's a very wrong notion. There are many studies that was done, and what has come out is that craving is a part of the process of migraine. So during that, what we call as premonitory phase, people crave. Yeah. So that when you crave, it actually won't trigger the pain. The process have already started. So you can actually wrongly blame the cheese because you took it. Tomorrow you have a headache. You can wrongly blame the cheese, but the process have already started. So try to think. If you're a sufferer listening, try to think. If keep a diary, for example. If you have a migraine today, yesterday, how did you felt? Did you felt as if you wanted to eat cheese or chocolate, or did you felt a bit, do you feel as if you're peeing more? You go to the toilet more, or did you get tummy pain, or did you get, visual problem? If that actually is the case, then what you do is, next time that happens to you, take a strong painkiller, because it will stop the whole 5 days, the whole 5 stages to proceed. Now, the other thing to remember as well is there are actually lifestyle modifications. When you have migraine, your brain basically is hyper excited all the time. That's why you get pain so easily. When the weather changes, in fact, if you're a migrainer, you know when it's gonna rain tomorrow, because the atmospheric pressure, the barometric pressure is a trigger. When it's high or low, it triggers a migraine. So it's like a psychic ability, but what actually is happening, there's a some biological process happening in your brain and in your body. So if you have a hyper-excitable brain, what you need is that normality. Everything has to be regulated. You have to eat normal, 3 times a day, roughly around the same time of the day, to keep your sugar level at the same level. You don't want a fluctuation of sugar level. The other thing is, if you exercise is good, but when you're a migrainer, for example, sprint marathon would be bad. You'll get a migraine every single time. If you're not used to heavy lifting, for example, you'll get a migraine. So in exercise, it's light exercise, but regular exercise. You need to drink a lot of water. Dehydration is a trigger as well. So drink at least 2 liters of water. If you could a bit more. The most important thing is sleep. If you're sleep deprived, you get a migraine. And if you overslept, you get a migraine as well. So it doesn't matter if you sleep 8 hours, or if you sleep 12 hours, or you sleep 5 hours. It doesn't matter. The important thing is, for example, if you're used to sleeping at 12 and waking up at 6, make sure that you sleep around that time and you wake up around that time. The worst thing is, tonight you sleep at 9 p.m., tomorrow 1 a.m., the day after 8 p.m., then, you will get a migraine every single time.
Wow, amazing. So there's a lot of things. Just by understanding the stages, you can do a lot of things already. Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very important that
and the other thing as well, of course,
go on.
yeah, I mean, can I just say, just for safety, if you have a headache and you have not been diagnosed with migraine and you think you have a migraine, do not self-diagnose. Do not take my word. Get checked by the GP first. They need to do neurological exam, and if they've excluded everything and you still get headaches all the time, 90% that would be migraine. And if it is migraine and you get diagnosis from your doctor and you take painkillers every day, if you do that for more than 3 months, that will make your headache worse. It's called medication overuse headache. So if you are diagnosed with migraine and you need to take painkiller, and you cannot take just 1 gram of paracetamol. It's like taking a Smartie for a migrainer. It's a brain problem, remember. So the most common thing that I mean it's based on the N.I.C.E guideline anyway, which I helped devise, is that if you're gonna take ibuprofen and you are diagnosed with migraine, you need to remember you need to be diagnosed because you know you could have a brain tumor, for example, or you know an aneurysm. So you need all my advice is about somebody who's been diagnosed. If you have a migraine and you're taking a painkiller, you need to take high dose. So you hit it early and you hit it hard. When I say hit it early, hit it before the
Mhm.
headache phase. When you get the premonitory phase, when you get the oral, take the painkiller. And when I say hit it hard, if you're taking ibuprofen, you take 600 in one go.
Oh,
In
wow.
one go. You don't trickle.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not gonna work. Yeah, because remember you have a CGRP that you want to prevent being
Yeah.
released. Yeah. So you want to take it down before those get released. If you're taking naproxen, you take 500, and you can and ibuprofen for me I found so effective. I take 600 and then I combine that with paracetamol and then I combine that with anti-emetic or anti-sickness tablet. So why do we take anti-sickness? Is it because you feel sick when you have a migraine? No. It's because when you have a migraine, your stomach, your gut stops working.
Oh.
Yeah. The peristalsis
Mm.
stops. So if you take high dose of ibuprofen, it just sits floating in your stomach. It's not gonna work. So you need to kickstart the gut to work. And how do you do that? By taking the
Yes.
antiemetic. So it's not because you're sick. It's just to promote absorption of the drug.
Motility, to promote motility. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you say you got migraine as well yourself?
I
Wow.
do, and I get
Oh
aura
my
as
God.
well.
So
Yeah.
you can
Mhm.
completely, firsthand, you will experience it
Yeah.
and you're
I,
in a perfect position, to be honest.
yeah.
You're in a perfect
Yeah.
position.
And
Yeah.
this is why I understand my
Yeah. Yeah.
patient
Yeah.
because, especially at work, when you always say, oh, I have a migraine. Oh, she has a migraine again. She's just using it as an excuse. Because people don't see your
Yeah. Yeah.
pain. Only you can feel
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
pain. Sometimes you look normal because you try to live your life as normal as possible. You don't allow pain to overcome your life, or let's say you're the sole breadwinner. Would you lay on bed if there's no, money in the bank to buy food, for
Mm.
example? Of
Of
course
course.
you won't. So you still go to work, but your productivity will be less, and then you will feel like a burden with your colleague or your
Wow,
family.
wow, wow. So, ob- obviously that is what somebody can do while at home, and of course, you mentioned about the painkillers, which is quite standard. Now, if that doesn't
Mm.
work, you started,
Mhm.
you pioneered a
Mhm.
nurse-led service or
Mhm.
treatment, which we call a
Mhm.
nerve block or a Botox. Not here, but here,
Mhm.
isn't it? Or
Mhm.
neuromodulation.
Well, Botox or migraine, not for cosmetic.
I know. I know. Let's make it clear to all our Perry viewers right now. Okay. So let's
Yeah,
take it one
yeah.
by one. So
Mhm.
painkiller didn't work. All
Mhm.
these things didn't work. So let's go. Which one do you want to do
Mhm.
first? Nerve block or Botox? Neuromodulation or I'll leave it to you. I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, yeah, so what I'll say is if anybody watching or listening actually had been diagnosed with migraine, you're taking painkillers and you're still getting migraine or headaches on more than 4 days per month, go back to your GP and insist on being started on what we call as a preventative drug, prevention. So the most common prevention is amitriptyline. It's an antidepressant, but it works on
Oh.
migraine. The next one is called
Hmm.
propranolol. It's a blood pressure drug, but works
Mm-hmm.
on migraine. And there's another one called topiramate. I mean, women likes it makes you go crazy, but it makes you lose weight, so women like it. Sorry, so I'm a woman, so I'm allowed to say that. That's just a jest. Yeah, I don't. It's true though. There's a double-blinded. It's a proper controlled trial that was
Mm-hmm.
done for it. So if those still fail, then we can give you a nerve block. So like what Jeremy already. When I started becoming a headache nurse specialist, there's this procedure called occipital nerve block or multiple cranial nerve block. And back at that time, only consultant neurologists were doing it. So when I came along, I was watching and I thought, this is something that actually a nurse can do,
Mm-hmm.
with the right training, right. And I must admit that initially there was a lot of pushback because, first of all, no nurse has ever done it in the country. So I have to approach NMC, I have to approach
Wow.
RCN, I have to approach clinical governance to allow me to do it. So after 6 months, we were able to set it up. It was highly highly successful because the waiting list was reduced from 6 months, for example, down to 2
Wow,
weeks.
amazing.
Only because I was allowed to do it much
Mm.
quicker than the
Oh,
consultant. So basically what it entails is if you are all watching, do this. Go at the back of your head, yeah, and here you can feel at the around the bottom, around the side, on the left or right. Press it, and you're gonna feel a very tender spot. And that's what we call an occipital nerve. That's one of the drivers of migraine.
okay.
So what we give is a steroid and anesthesia
Mm-hmm.
right there. And by blocking it, you basically minimize the traffic of pain signals that go to the brain. So the way I explain it to my patient is, let's say you're driving sa motorway, ano? If you block the A
Mm.
roads, yeah, and the side roads, there'll be less motors or vehicles in the
Yeah.
motorway. And that's what we do by blocking the nerve. By blocking the nerve, you reduce the pain signal that gets transmitted to the
Wow.
brain. Now, Botox is another treatment which actually well, I'll say botulinum toxin because Botox is a
Mm.
brand name, and I have a conflict of interest if I start saying the brand name because I'm an advisor for the company. So I'm just gonna say
Yeah.
botulinum toxin.
Okay.
I don't want to look like I'm promoting it. So botulinum toxin is the brand name, and there's a Dysport, there's Botox, but the only licensed one is
Mm-hmm.
Botox for migraine. So it works by reducing the CGRP.
Oh, okay.
So contrary to the effect of Botox to wrinkles, it's the effect of Botox on migraine actually is on the nerves, not on the muscles. It's not because we paralyze the muscle. It's got nothing to do with
Mm-hmm.
that. You do get an indirect aesthetic effect, but the main, if you understand the anatomy, the nerves sits in the
Mm.
muscle. And by injecting the muscle, you basically stop the nerves that's catching the CGRP. So if you close those receptor or the catchers of the pain
Mm.
signal, then again the traffic of the pain signal that goes to the brain is
Okay.
lessened. That's why it's so
I see.
effective.
Okay.
So I established the very first Botox service in the country. I have been up to now been training GPs and other neurologists, and I get invited as well sometimes in Europe to train other nurses and other doctors to inject it for
Mhm.
migraine. But it is a game changer for me. It changed the landscape on how we treat migraine. If I have migraine, I'll have it.
When you inject yourself.
It's well, if I have migraine bad enough to need it.
Wow. How about the neuromodulation? Neuromodulation.
Okay, so neuromodulation is actually for people who has tried, for example, 10 kinds of medication. They tried Botox, they tried nerve block, they tried acupuncture, and it's still
Mhm.
ineffective. Then we implant a stimulator like a
Oh,
pacemaker.
okay.
But instead of putting it in the heart, we put it at the back of the head, or we put it inside the brain in the deepest part of the brain. So it's called deep brain stimulator and occipital nerve
Oh, okay. It's
stimulator.
similar to Parkinson's one, right? The deep brain stimulator.
Similar, but exactly. But for Parkinson's, you basically use a different
Oh,
target.
okay.
For cluster headache, you target the back of the hypothalamus or just another target in the brain. Iba ang position niya, magkatabi, but iba yung effect
Oh, I
niya.
see. So that's neuromodulation.
That
Wow,
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
plenty of treatments. We've learned so much from everything, everything from
So if you're suffering, don't suffer. There are many options. If you're at home suffering and you think I should just accept it, don't accept it. Go back to your GP. It's in the NICE guideline. You are entitled to all this treatment and you should ask for it.
wow. Any support groups set up in the
Yeah, so the biggest one is called the Migraine
Mm-hmm.
Trust. So you just can Google Migraine Trust, and they have a website, they have helpline, they have a website that has all this information, leaflet informations that are actually designed for the public. They have advice on how to access resources if your GP are being difficult, for example. There are actually resources within that website on how to get referred to a headache clinic.
So that's Migraine Trust, yeah? Yeah. So
Yeah.
for those of you, take note of that one. migraine trust. You can get a lot of
Mhm.
information and
Yeah.
support from that one.
Mhm.
So what is like a predictor? Obviously you are exposed to it internationally. So in the next
Mm.
year or 5 years, do you think what is like a predictor for you for migraine? Will it increase because of the pandemic? I don't know. Has it got anything to do with it, or
Well,
what is the
yeah,
prediction?
funny you say that. So, well, in terms of predictor of whether you will develop it or not, we know it's genetic
Mm,
predisposition. But if you're asking about biomarkers, so for example, if I do a blood test, will I find out you'll develop migraine in 10 years? There's
mm,
nothing. There's been many studies which all failed. We can't find any
mm,
biomarkers. But it's funny you mentioned, in fact, in the last 3 months since the
mm.
pandemic, the occurrence and the incidence has significantly increased. It's, I think, and we believe it's because of
Stress, yeah.
stress and
Mm,
anxiety. Stress and anxiety are very potent trigger of migraine. If you're a migraine sufferer and suddenly you're experiencing personal problems, you'll get more migraine
okay,
attack.
so migraine sufferers will increase in the next years. Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I think people are not exercising properly. You have this stress and anxiety. I don't think the COVID will increase the incidence. I think it's the external
Mm,
factors that may increase people from suffering more.
yeah. So I believe it's not just migraines, but also a lot of probably cardiovascular diseases will be on the rise. Mental health problems because of
Mm.
because of the pandemic, right?
Mhm.
Um, People are not
Yeah,
exercising.
mental health
They're just at
actually
home,
will increase.
nothing to do, just to eat and sleep. So obviously you're gonna gain weight. So your risk will actually
Mm.
go up.
Mm.
And of course mental health problems
Yeah.
because of you some of us might have lost their loved one because of COVID. I know a friend who's lost, like, I don't know, probably 5 members of the family
Mm.
because of COVID. So it's
Mm.
very
Mm.
traumatizing as well.
But I mean that is the worst
Mm,
case scenario,
mm,
Jeremy. But I think we must not forget those actually whose livelihood are affected by it.
exactly.
There are many
Mm,
kababayan, many of our friends kababayan whose source of income are being threatened because of COVID. And I think as a community, I think we should um I feel we should all
mm, mm.
unite. Um, we should actually use this crisis as a trigger to unite
Mhm.
more, to help each other more, to empower each other more, because there are many friends, colleagues, um, people that you just bump onto the road that that would be affected by COVID, not necessarily by the infection itself, but by indirect cause of
Yeah.
COVID.
What are you mentioned about a new drug that was developed? Any advances in treatment
Mm.
in migraine apart from the new medication
Yeah,
or?
so that is the yeah, so that is the newest, and in fact, there's been a lull, or there hasn't been any new development in the last 10
Mm-hmm.
years. But we now have this called what CGRP monoclonal antibody. There's 5 being developed right now, and I think it's gonna be welcomed by the
Mm-hmm.
sufferers, because if all else
Mm-hmm.
fails, then there's nothing else for you. And if you are not keen to have the surgery, then there's 5 new drugs that are coming along. They're self-injectable. So basically, you use it once a month. Your GP or your neurologist will give it to you. You will be shown how to use it. And it will be delivered in your household through home care. And then you'll inject it to yourself once a month. So it's so
Mm-hmm.
convenient, and it's in terms of side effect, the profile of side effect, it's really good and well
Wow.
tolerated.
So how about let's talk about your experiences during this pandemic. As we all know,
Mm,
all the outpatients have closed and the surgeries has been canceled to give
mm,
way to all this surge of
mm,
patients who needs
mm,
intensive care
mm,
treatment. So what has been your experience? Obviously,
mhm.
before you used to see patients like face to
Yeah.
face, and
Mhm,
you told me that
mhm.
your background right now is actually your office because you work from
Yeah.
home. You
Yeah, this is my work
Wow.
from
So
home
tell us your
clinic.
experience.
Yeah.
Is it actually better because you can actually see more patients? like, because it's virtual? Do you get to see more
Yeah, so
patients?
I think,
Or has it been worse for
well, it
patients as well
like,
because they couldn't attend the clinics? So what has been the experience
mm,
during the COVID?
so yeah, so before COVID, for example, I'm in the clinical area every day. I run my own clinic almost every day, but that had been put on a
Mm.
complete hold,
Yeah.
complete stop for during COVID. Kasi yung Queen Square becomes a COVID hospital as well. And in fact, most of my colleagues had been
Mhm.
redeployed. But if there's one good thing I can consider, a good thing from COVID, is that I was able to establish something that I've been trying to fight for in the last
Mm.
2 years. So in the last 2 years, I wanted to start a video clinic. But because of GDPR law, confidentiality, the trust was so
Mm.
against it. So when COVID came along, and I asked for a video clinic to allow me to continue running the clinic because face to face had been stopped. It happened overnight. So if
Exactly.
yeah, all the bureaucracy and red tape, went away, went out of the window. I asked for it, they give it to me. So this is my background for my video clinic. I run it once a week. On top of it, I do a lot of telemedicine. So I do a lot of consultation instead of face to face. I do it on the phone. But we are now on a recovery phase. So in the last 3 weeks, we've restarted our nerve block, Botox, and neuromodulation service. So I now see people face to
Mhm.
face. But before that started, I have to write a lot of new guideline. I have to write a lot of protocol. There's a lot of business management. There's a lot of liaison with business managers, and that's now hopefully COVID will go away and it will be a thing of the
Yes,
past.
yes, exactly, exactly. What is funny, just like what you said, it happened overnight. I just want to share my own experience as well, just
Mhm,
to sidetrack a little bit.
mhm,
When with social situations, right? Um,
mhm,
say like package of care, it takes like days and sometimes weeks to set up. But because of
mhm,
COVID, within
mhm,
within the day, you can have a package of care, and even the
mhm.
equipment will be delivered on
Yeah,
the day within 3 hours. So
exactly.
amazing how COVID
Yeah,
has actually turned things around, And now we
yeah,
know that
yeah.
these things can actually happen with the flick of a finger.
Mhm,
There's no turning back
mhm.
anymore, isn't
And
it?
I think, yeah, I'm sure we have nurses who are watching right now. I think what we need to think about is the if we modified our service, and when we go back to go back to how we were
Mm,
before, I think we need to think about what it is that we adapted that we should keep.
mm.
So for example, I'm not gonna let go of my video clinic
Yeah.
anymore. Only 5% of my patients are from London. 95% are from all over the country. I have patients from Guernsey, from
Yeah,
Scotland, from
exactly.
Ireland, and sometimes they travel for 2 days to see me for 30 minutes. So I think it's very important to actually find out. I mean, appraise what you have
Mhm.
changed and keep it if it's for the better, and audit them. So you have you have a weapon when you start, fighting for those services to
Exactly. That's
continue.
what I said. No turning back. You can't order something from the social
Mm,
services and then say, "Oh, it's gonna take 5."
mm,
No, no, no. During COVID,
exactly.
within a
It's
day, we can get
doable.
it.
Yeah. It's
Exactly,
doable.
exactly.
Yeah, it's
Great.
doable. Yeah.
We have learned so much from your expertise, from your specialty. Your
Oh, I
Yes,
hope
yes,
so.
absolutely. We got a lot of comments here, but I just want to carry on. This is more on a like a we like to know you more, right? So, Susie, if
Okay.
time and money is not a problem, what would you like to do? Set aside you being like the specialist for headache in UK.
Oh, Jeremy, I'll be a nurse. I've always wanted to become a nurse.
Great, 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 great. That's good. That's good. So, what is
Mm,
your vision as a headache specialist? You are What is your
sorry.
vision as a headache specialist? I mean, you are one of a kind here in UK. So
Oh,
where do you wanna take it? The
yeah.
migraine specialty, or the services.
Okay, so I work very closely with the International Forum for Headache Nurses. I'm part of the steering committee there. I also am very active member of the UK National Headache Nurses Group, and the vision that I'm trying to spearhead is that migraine headache nurse should be there should be a headache nurse in every
Mm-hmm,
borough.
mm-hmm.
You know, somebody from Peterborough shouldn't be referred to me because we already said it's the most common neurological problem. It actually is more common than diabetes and asthma. You know, in every borough, there's a diabetes
Mm,
nurse, there's an asthma nurse, and yet there's only up to now. You know, when I became a headache nurse, there's only six
mm,
of us.
mm,
When I became a headache nurse, I mean, luckily there's 60 of us now, but how many are, you know, how many are headache nurses compared to MS nurses, for example? You know, compared to diabetes nurses. Yeah, you see the resources are not being poured. In fact, I think 2 years ago, I was in the
mm.
parliament. I was luckily invited in the parliament to talk about, you know, the nurse-led headache services. And you know, you get invited to the parliament. You get excited because you think, you know, finally I get, you know, we get heard. You know, we get listened
Mm.
to. But it's all a
Oh,
show.
okay.
I'm getting very political
Okay.
now, but
I think it's just always part of it, isn't it?
but that's my vision. Yeah, my vision is that there'll be a headache nurse in every borough so that patients can access it. And this is why, you know, I know you approached me before and I was quite reluctant, but when you talked to me and you said you want me to talk about migraine, I was so keen because this is one of my pet passion to be able to disseminate. You know, if anybody listening today would just remember or learn one thing, I'd be happy because that means I can indirectly touch those people's
Exactly.
lives in some
Well
way.
done, well done. Susie, just out of curiosity, yeah, we're not talking
Mm.
about headache anymore. uh, if you if you
Yeah,
if
okay.
you
Yeah.
are not a headache specialist right now, what would you be? What
Mm.
would you be? What would be the alternate one if you're not doing what you're doing right now?
Okay, so if I'm not a
Yeah, yeah.
nurse, I'll probably gonna be a
Okay.
teacher. I love teaching.
You're a very good teacher. We can see it right now. You're a very good teacher.
I
You
hope
are, you
so.
are, you are, you are. Susie, last question. If you are going to have a dinner
Mhm,
with somebody, it could be anybody, anybody in the world that you want, that you wish.
mhm,
It could be
mhm,
dead
mhm,
already,
mhm,
or it could be somebody living, still living.
mhm,
So, who is this person that you want
mhm.
to have a dinner with? Why? And what would you ask this person? It could be
Oh
anybody.
wow.
It could
Oh my
be. It
God.
could just be.
I've never thought of it. I've never thought of it. Actually, let me think. Hmm. Oh, it will be my grandmother.
Great, great, great.
She died when I was in my primary
Mm-hmm.
school. And she's, oh, you know, I remember when I was growing up, and I've already said we were very, you know, we were
Mm-hmm.
very humble
Mm-hmm.
beginnings. And she used to tell me, oh, nako, you know, she's very superstitious. She said, oh, ganyan ang tubo ng ngipin mo, suswertihin ka. O ganyan ang guhit ng palad mo,
Mm.
suswertihin ka. So I would love her to have a dinner with her and tell her what happened to my
Wow.
life. You know, that, you know, this is her
Mm.
granddaughter, and we've never really known each other so much because I was young when
What,
she died. So maybe
what
I've never really thought
what
of
would you
it.
ask her? What would you ask her? Just one question that you would ask her.
I would ask her, na foresee ba niya na isa sa mga apo niya ay mangingibang bansa at you know magkakaroon ng successful career.
Wow. Love it, love it.
Maybe that's what I'll
Love
ask.
it, love it. Susie,
Mm.
let's see if there's any. So this is guys, this is your chance to uh ask something from our one and only headache nurse specialist in
Mm.
UK. So let's just see if there's a nice shades. Let's see if there's any questions. Sharina is watching. Perka Kanindin, Jun Leo Galon, Thomas Medina, Antonino Lagrata. Who is Antonino Lagrata? Hello,
Yeah, that's my
hello.
admirer.
Rosalina Cleofas, Christopher Josh, Noel Calise. Hello, hello then. Hello, Christopher Josh. Louis Atienza is watching. Uh, Hi Charm from Qatar. Oh, from Qatar. Hello. So we got a watcher from Qatar. Julie Vianson is also watching. Thank you. Toots Dones Rivera. Thank you for watching. Zoe Gonzalez. Silvia Navia. Eric Von Pareño Fredeluces. Christopher Josh Noel. Oh, I like this warm-up game. Okay, thank you. Hello from Jean Recolisado. Hello there from Qatar. Neneng Nene is watching from Queen Square. Christopher, Ron Clem Medina.
Hi, Chelma.
Yeah. Chelma. Yes, that's Chelma. Ron Cleng Medina is watching. Cordapia,
Oh,
Marlene Celis, George O. Orta. Wow, George, my classmate who is already a Undersecretary of Justice in the Philippines. I'll catch up with you, man. Rex Cortez de
mm.
Guzman, thank you for watching, Rex. Chef Rex de Guzman, follow him on YouTube. Rizalina Glacier, Paul Torres Tan, Volter Octavio, Mimi Mili, Abigail Sarte, Alice Arenga Francisco, Cor Dapia said, hello there, very informative. Yes, thank you very much, Susie. Thank you.
Oh,
Very
thank
good
you.
input and interesting information from Arvin. Maida Bustamante is watching. Jim Paul Sanchez, thank you for watching. Jari Villanueva, Lynn Clemente Dumlao, and it's about managing it on early stages. Thank you for this information from Mimi Mili. Ron Surka is watching. Manoj Thomas is watching. Gian Recorizado or Charm Recorizado, thank you. Shriman Andol is our lead stroke consultant when I was in Queen's Hospital, actually. So he's watching right now. Nolfred Kagaanan, of course, from John Young. Mga nationals. Alvin Andal,
Yes.
Francis Cano Felipe, Mark Barton, totally loving the interview. Susie is truly amazing from Mark Barton. Now you got an English fan. This is truly
Oh,
amazing.
thank you. Get referred to my
Yes.
clinic.
And Dr. Sriman Andol said, inspirational nurse, keep it going. So that's coming from our lead
Oh, thank
consultant,
you.
stroke, in Queen's Hospital before. He's working in King's Hospital now, as far as I know.
Thank
Jimson
you.
Rabino, my teacher in high school. Gian Arguisa Huino, J. Vincent Medina, Jingo Paras, Del Espinosa, Junard Kimnieva, Joshua Fernandez, Neneng Nene, or Chelma. Very informative. Thanks, Susie. You're amazing. Risa Bongais. Very informative. Thanks. Well done, Susie. You're amazing. Proud kabayan here. That's from Chelma. River Maya is watching. What's this? Tracy Skeggs from Chelma. I don't know who Tracy Skeggs is. We have a comment here from Dali Relopez. Well done, Susie. I'm sure we all learned a lot from you from your talk. More power to you and your chosen specialty. Proud nurse from the Philippines. Bravo. Marlon Morales Lupak. Thank you for watching, bro. Of course, Sharina said, hi, Tita Susie. It's Jace watching you. Wow. So
Oh, hello,
Jace, Jace will be a
Jace. Hi,
neurologist.
Jace.
Jace will be a neurologist in the future.
Yes, he's our future
Yes.
boss.
And Christopher Jos Noel Calise said, hello and thank you, Jeremy Roy and Susie, for good and interesting debate. Neneng Nene, hi. Mitch Ann is watching. Neneng Nene. Eric Von Pareño Fredeluces, Miss Susie. Very inspirational. How it has become a nurse specialist how is it to become a nurse specialist as a start? Let's answer this one. I have been trying to think about the what path to take. What what should I do as a starter? So that's from Eric Von Pareño Prediluces. So how to become a nurse specialist, Susie?
Okay, so Eric Bond, when I started in Queen Square, I didn't even know that there's such a post called nurse specialist. So, in fact, for the first 10 years, I was working in the world because my kids were growing up. So I purposefully put a halt on my career progression. But what I didn't stop was
Mm.
studying. Unfortunately, we need to pair our clinical expertise with academic not achievement but academic how do you say it,
Mm-hmm.
studies. So what I did was initially I did a teaching and assessing course. I built up, I started with the simple courses, uh, teaching and assessing course, and then I did a neuroscience course. So if you're on another specialty, maybe a diabetes course if you're into diabetes, but if you're into neurology, it's a must to do a neuroscience course. And then I started looking for a post when I felt I was ready. I really wasn't keen into management in the woods for some reason. So I started looking for posts that are more independent. And then I found the headache nurse specialism course. But what I would suggest actually is don't, right now, I don't know how far you are in your career. Just open your door and open your mind to everything, because sometimes you think, that's a difficult specialty. Oh, I'm not keen in that specialty. When, if you dismiss it right away, you will lose that opportunity. So just open your doors. And if you get offered courses, if you get offered opportunity to shadow clinics, for example, and in fact that's one thing. If you are happy, you're welcome to shadow my clinic. If you work in UCLH, even if you aren't, I provide clinical supervision. I give honorary observership contract after COVID, and that will allow you to watch me doing my nurse services. And if it's something that you like, you can transfer. It's transferable skills anyway. So whatever you will see from us, you can transfer to another specialty, and that will be the start.
Wow, amazing. So I hope that has answered your question. Joel Miranda, hello, hello. And Ate Purita has just come on. Have you been working, Ate Purita, today? So yeah, you can watch this back. And Mirna Vicente, of course. Hello. Welcome, welcome.
Hi,
Yes,
Min.
yes, yes. Riza Bongais, well done, Mars. Proud of you. Thank you, Jeremy.
Oh, hi,
Yes, yes.
Mars.
Hello,
Hi,
Riza,
Reese.
Riza. So, yes, let's greet all those our friends from UCLH, National
Mm.
Neuro Hospital, and of course, mga taga Bonham Carter House and Warwickshire House before our
Yes.
batch. 99,
Mm.
yeah, 99, right? August and September. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
They're all watching right now.
September.
And of course, Susie, thank you very much for your time. I know you're very busy. Thank you for sharing your expertise.
Oh, thank
I
you.
personally learned a lot. I've been in neurology as well for like I think 8 years, more than that probably, yeah, because including the Philippines, we worked together
Mm.
in the National Hospital for neurology. But my God, all those informations is they are golden
Mm.
nuggets. They are you're dropping bombs, dropping bombs.
I hope
Yes, you did.
so. I hope
You did,
so.
you did.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for your time, Susie. More power to you. I know you're doing your doctoral at the moment. You can do it. Claim it now. You'll be the first, what do you call that, a headache disorder PhD holder in the UK. Yes, you will be. You will be. And we are proud of you. Our Filipinos are very proud of you. It's having somebody like you on
No. We're all of us are equally credit to our country. All of us are doing
Mm.
very well. We are all doing our part in this pandemic, in this crisis, and we're all equal. We're doing things differently, and every single one actually does
Well
amazingly.
done, well done. Thank you. Eric Bond said, "Thank you, Miss Susie. Just finished my ICU course here in London and find you as my inspiration." See, you're inspiring a lot of people. So, yes.
Oh,
God
thank
bless you. God
you.
bless you too, Eric. Yeah, ICU is you made a very good choice. ICU course. Yeah, yeah. So thank you very much, Susie. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank
God bless.
you. Good
God bless. God
night.
bless.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
God
Thank
bless.
you
Yeah.
very much.
Stay safe. God
Thank you. Thank
bless.
you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye. So there you go. There's hope. There's hope. Don't say it's only a headache because it could be as simple as headache, but equally disabling and debilitating as what Susie said. It's more prevalent than diabetes and asthma. And we've learned a lot. Very, very like all those stages. If we know the stages, then we can actually prevent uh, uh, migraine from happening. If we are educated about those stages and we have that support group, Migraine Trust. So I hope you learn something in our broadcast or in our live stream for tonight here at JhermiNATION, our hub for health, arts, and business. And thank you all for sticking with us. And of course, if you have a friend who is suffering from migraine, please share this one to them. Tag them in here. share this to them because it's very informative. I would like to. I'm gonna watch this one again because there's a lot of information in there that will help or change the life of a migraine sufferer. So especially these times of COVID, that's what Susie said. It's gonna increase more. It's gonna increase more. So thank you very much. Proud of you, Susie, not Susan, from the Englishman. Okay, so of course, I would like to thank those people who I'm very thankful for. Hujo for my logo design. Any computer problems, please call Hujo, Hoodjo. Find him on Facebook. And yes, Marge, hello there. And of course, Ches Narbonita Cruz I would like to thank Ches Carbonita Cruz for my personalized mask. There you go, my personalized mask. Thank you very much. That's Chesnar Bonita Cruz. And of course, I would like to thank Briley Care, the agency that truly cares. So if you want ships, if you're a nurse or HCA, get in touch with Briley Care, the agency that truly cares. And of course, my 2 minute selfie time, your feel good, look good at the comfort of your own home in 2 minutes. I've got my Lumi Spa, which is a deep cleanser and a skin renewal device. If you want one of these, you know where I am. And of course, my nutritional supplements from Pharmanex. Especially during these times of COVID, you have to give your body a fighting chance. You need to increase your antioxidant levels because our health is our first wealth. And of course, the one who did my shirt, Karoni Dalida or Scientist t-shirt. Uh, yes, thank you, Karoni. And of course, don't forget our One Philippines in collaboration with JhermiNATION. We have One Nation Awards UK Lockdown 2020. We have different categories: music and arts, health, fitness and wellness, education and information, inspirational, social media and entertainment, love and light awards. So if you want to nominate somebody who is deserving to be nominated, please go to our Facebook page called One Nation Awards UK 2020 and make your nomination in there from lockdown. So that means from mid-March up to present. Those who have risen above the challenge, those who are shown the generosity and charity works during those times, please nominate them. Please nominate them. And yes, so thank you everyone. And hi, I'm late, but watch it later. Yes. Especially those who are suffering from headache. So thank you very much, everyone. And I would like to continue with this song. Thank you, Susie. This is for you. She who always seems so happy in a crowd, whose eyes can be so private and so proud. No one's allowed to see them when they cry. She may be the love that cannot hope to last, who comfort me within the shadows of the past, that I'll remember till the day I die. She may be the reason I survive, the why, the wherefore I'm alive, the one I care for through the rough and rainy years. Me, I'll take her laughter and the tears and make them all my souvenirs. And where she goes, I've got to be. The meaning of my life is she. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe. Stay safe. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.